All right. This is an equation of a, well, let's find out. So here's how you would find out. All right, I'm gonna give myself a little space here to work through this, but we'll determine what kind of thing this is. So we got 25x squared plus 9y squared. Let's see, plus 100 x plus 36y minus 89 equals 0. I mean, it's all ellipses. However, I want to show you all, I want you to work through this problem with me, write stuff down, because I want to show you how to condense this into elliptical form. This is kind of important. I'm gonna wait till y'all have paper because I see a lot of people just staring at their computers. I don't know what y'all doing. Thank you. You ain't got no paper? We got plenty of graphing paper, sheets, and junk. This is not a spectator sport. There's a lot that goes into this, and I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. Okay. All right, the first thing you're gonna do is you put your x's together, put your y's together, put the numbers on the other side. So you're gonna end up with 25x squared plus 100x. And then plus 9y squared plus 36y equals positive 89. That's your first step. I'm gonna wait. I want to make sure that you got that. You put all your x's together, put all your y's together, put all the numbers on the other side. Will this be a question on an exam or a test rather? Yes, absolutely. Like I'll give you this and I'll say, because I'll give you, this is a standard form. I'll say, or rather general form. I'll give you general form and I'll say, okay, tell me the center, the foci, the vertex, the blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to do that unless you're able to turn it into general standard form. So that's why I'm teaching you how to turn it into standard form now. All right, the first thing you're gonna do is see, is there anything that I can factor out of these two x values? What could I factor out of those two? 25 exactly. 25x squared plus 4x. No, we want to keep the x squared, and you are correct. We could, but we want to keep those. We're about to complete the square. So you want to keep the x squared and we have to keep the 4x, but that's a good observation. Other thing is, in general, what you want to do is factor it out so that you have nothing in front of that x squared. You just have x squared. In general, is what you're trying to do. What can I factor out of these two over here? 9, exactly. And you're going to have y squared plus 4y equals 89. Okay. Now we're going to complete the square on both of these. To complete the square, what are the two things that we need? Anybody remember? Exactly. B over 2 squared. So in this case, our B value is 4. So you do 4 over 2, which is 2. And then you're going to take that 2, whatever that value is, and you're going to square it. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to, with 25x squared plus 4x plus 4. So we're adding this piece on the end. Luckily for us, it's the exact same numbers for the y value, so we can do the same thing. However, what we have to note is the fact that when I added this 4, I need to do the same thing on both sides, correct? Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. But this 4 is not actually a 4. This 4 is really 25 times 4. So I need to add 100 to the other side. Remember, this 4 is inside the parentheses, so it's not technically a 4. It's really 4 times whatever's outside. Same thing for the other one. We need to add 36. I'm gonna pause right there, but I want to make sure everybody understands this. Completing the square, y'all should be able to do in your sleep at this point. Really. But the big key here is thinking I'm not adding 4 to both sides. I'm really adding 100 and I'm really adding 36. So be careful about that. All right, next thing we want to do is we're going to recreate these. So basically we're going to do 25. Then you have x plus 2 squared. Why 2? Because remember, that's my b over 2 value, whatever that value was. We do x plus that squared. Same thing with the y's, 9, and then you're gonna end up with y plus 2 squared. Okay, so whenever you have something like x squared plus 6x plus 9, right? Remember the b over 2 value was 3, right? So what you do is you do x plus whatever your b over 2 is squared. So in this case, x plus 3 squared. In our case, it was x plus 2 squared. That's the reason we do completing the square in the first place. And that's no matter what you see. If you have x squared plus 12x plus 36, this is going to be x plus 6 squared. This always works out that way. That makes sense? It's a shortcut. All right, so now that we got all that, let's add all this junk up on the other side. So we got 89 plus 100, 189 plus that. I think it's 225 if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Now, remember the general form of an ellipse is x plus h. You don't have to write this down. X plus h squared over a squared plus y plus k squared over b squared is equal to 1. So to get a general form in this particular situation, what do I need to divide everything by to get that 1 on the right side? Yeah, 225. I'm gonna divide everything by 225. Everything. Give me that 1 on the right. This is why I said John need paper and to write this down, because trust me, it can be easy to forget all these steps. Yep. Get your charger. You want to wait till we're finished? Okay. All right. So anyway, we got the final answer is going to be x plus 2 squared over 9 plus. I am doing that right. 225 divided by 25 is 9, right? Okay, just checking. No, I'm just simplifying. I'm 25 over 225. Yes, this is a, so okay, hold on. So it's a squared, right? This is a squared is what I'm saying. Let me finish. I'll answer your question, but let me finish up first. All right, so you got y plus 2 squared over 25, because 9 divided, or 225 divided by 9 is 25, and then it's equal to 1. And this is your answer here. So therefore, I know this question didn't call for it. And do you have to do all this to answer this question? No. No, I mean, they're all going to be ellipses, so you don't have to have that. But I wanted you to have this part is the most important part to me. So it's a, yeah, so for ellipses, you have x plus h squared over a squared plus y plus k squared. I promise I'm going to answer your question. Y Technically, it's minus. Yes, they're both squared and they equal 1. Now, this is an ellipse. Yes, A would be 3, B would be 5. Yeah, I'm about to go through a whole gambit of stuff that you can do with this, but just give me 1 second. I'm going to answer George's question first. Schiff, if you need to go, you can pick up whatever you need to pick up. All right, x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared. These are hyperbolas. You see the difference? The difference is one's plus, one's minus. And then, of course, parabolas are completely different. Parabolas we found was x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k, so on and so forth. Hyperbola. So we got ellipse, hyperbolas, and parabolas. Remember, circles are actually ellipses, right? They're just a is equal to a. So it'd be a squared over a squared. Or if you multiplied everything by a squared, you could call r squared. X squared minus x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. But we knew that to be a circle. All right, so let's go through the gambit of the things that we can learn from this situation, and then we'll actually graph it. Then we'll actually graph it and see if I'm right. All right. So what we can learn from this, first of all, is that our A value is 5 and our B value is 3. Note, for ellipses, whatever is the biggest value is A. I can write that down if you need to, but whatever is your biggest value is A, yes. No, I'm putting in Desmos. I'm putting in Desmos, then I'm going to verify that all my information is correct. I mean, we can hand graph it. It's not a big deal. All right, so we got A, we got B. The next thing we need to know is our H and K values. What are they going to be? 2 and 2 or -2 and -2. Exactly. All right. So believe it or not, this is actually enough information for us to graph this thing. All right. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. Just roll with me, guys. This is why you got graph paper in front of you. Just roll with me. So the first thing you're to do is you're going to determine where the center is. All right. So that's going to be -2, -2. Now, your A value is sitting under the Y variable. So if your A value, which is always bigger for ellipses, but since your A value is sitting in the Y, that means that your ellipse is going to be elongated this way. If your A value is sitting under the X, it would be elongated that way. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up 5 and down 5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be one vertex. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be a second vertex. Your co-vertices come from your B value. So 1, 2, 3 on the right, 1, 2, and 3 on the left. And so then your ellipse should look something like that, but not all wonky looking. Hold on. I can do a little bit better than that. Ooh. Maybe I can't. Okay, let me see. All right, that's a little bit more elliptical looking. That's the idea. And it's real simple. This is your A value, and this is your B value. Yeah, your C value is the distance between your center and your focus, but to graph it, you don't actually need to know that. Yeah. All right, so now let's see if I actually know what I'm doing, which, you know, y'all know by now, it's probably like 70-30. Yeah. You find C. A squared equals B squared minus Oh, I'm sorry. A squared equals B squared plus C squared. So you can find C that way. Yeah. And then your focus is going to be in the same direction as your vertex. And if you all don't remember all of this, all you got to do is go back under pre-cal. Oh, y'all can't see nothing that. But if you go back into Google Classroom, I have notes posted of all of this stuff that I'm saying. All right, what was I doing? Desmos. And let's see. Let's start with the very original. So it's 25x squared plus 9y squared. You all can plug this, of course, into Desmos yourselves. I guess technically, if you wanted to solve these problems, you could literally just plug them into Desmos and see what it did. But let's clear this so you all can actually see what's going on. And let's change the contrast here. All right, so we said the center was at -2, -2. Well, first of all, it is an ellipse. But yeah, the center is definitely at -2, -2. Boom. You can see that if you go up 5, so up 1, 2, 3, 5, there's a vertex up there. So that would be at -2, 3. And our B value of 3 also holds. It's going to be 1, -2. So 1, 2, 3. Everybody cool with that? So that's how you do it. Now, that's not what this question actually asked. I just wanted to go through all that, but let's knock through these. These actually are not going to be hard at all because all these are going to be ellipses. Then write the equation in the conic form. This is what we just did, I think. It was x plus 2 squared over 9, I think, plus y plus 2 squared over 25 equals 1. And yay. Boom. But it didn't ask you to graph it. It just asked you to do this part. And I love how it breaks everything down for you. So if you didn't remember all that, you can go back and take a look at that. Find the key features in general form. Basically, kind of like same idea here. You'd do all your work, all the workout and whatnot, and then determine where the vertices are and so on and so forth. Y'all want me to do this one or y'all want to try it yourself? Okay, I'll do this one. Oh, sure. Actually, that might actually work better. I'll walk around and try to help you guys out. So I'm gonna stop recording here.